Okay, we'll call the Elk Grove Township meeting to order. We'll all stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Trustee Niardowski.
Present.
Trustee Keenly.
Present.
Trustee Wojcicki.
Present.
Trustee Dante.
Present.
Supervisor Bussie.
Present. Okay, is there any public comment? Okay. Please state your name again and where you, what town you're from.
Melissa Kerr, Arlington Heights. Please use your clout and leverage to end tax increment finance districts, to free up government labor for other projects, to free up cash for the rest of us to use to improve our own property with our own money, and to take the money out of the tax increment finance fund bank accounts that the banks use to invest for their own profit. And also, I have the 2021 first installment property tax bill. It was due on March 1st, 2022. And for Harper College, Community College, 512 Palatine, it says amount of pension and health care shortage, $73,034,940. Percent of pension and health care costs taxing districts can pay, 0.00%. Please don't refer any students to Harper Community College. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if we can, yes? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Go ahead, I didn't see you.
That's okay. I just wanted to follow up on
Just
Okay.
name and address.
Heather Maldonado, 707 Durking Terrace. I just wanted to follow up about our neighborhood and see where we stand, because the survey went out Christmas Eve, which was probably not the best timing to get it with everybody over the holidays, so I didn't know what the response has been, what the plan of action is. We haven't heard anything since, and so.
Okay, I was going to address that in my comments, but I can address that now, if that'd be okay. When the surveys came back, of which there were only 7, out of all those that were sent out, that went into Sergeant Brown, who was the sheriff, who was coordinating this for the sheriff's office. In connection with us, we developed a plan for the community to address the traffic issues. That plan was taken to a meeting that was held with the Cook County's Commissioner's Office, the Sheriff's Office, obviously, with us and with Elk Grove Village. An agreement was reached in terms of that there was support among all the players for the plan. And then at that point, we needed to follow up on a couple issues with Elk Grove Village, which is finishing up, should be finished up shortly. And then a meeting's gonna be called for all the residents to attend, probably in May, where Sergeant Brown will present the plan and answer any questions and address any issues at that point. Once that's completed, then the plan will be executed. I can't go into the details right now because I don't have the plan in front of me, but it involves a rather substantial amount of signage and some redirection of items. There's one or two things that a couple of the players in this didn't agree to or decided wanted to change, but they're very minor. The basic plan's in place, and once that is totally finalized, and I know I have everybody totally on board, which we had an agreement, but I want to make sure I have everyone on board, then the Administrator Paul will work with the Cook County Sheriff's Office, and they will come up with a date. We're going to have it in the evening so everyone can attend, probably 7 o'clock here, with a date that we'll put out invitations to everyone. Participants will be the Cook County Commissioner's Office, will be the Elk Grove Village. I'm not sure who they're going to send. Will be us, and then obviously the presentation will be made by the Sheriff's Office.
Okay. So, and that meeting will be separate from your board meeting, correct?
Yes, it'll
So
be a separate special meeting that will be held specifically for the residents of the Rapallo Durkeen area.
Okay, and everybody will get that through the mail?
Yes,
that
everyone will get
notification?
will get an invitation, and we'll also ask you, Heather, then to also sort of mobilize people to come out, because, be honest, I'd like a more of a representation than we got from the surveys.
Right, absolutely, and I was shocked when we received it Christmas Eve, thinking, this is really bad timing to
Yeah.
send it out over the holidays when people leave for vacation, or they're just not paying attention to anything except the holidays, and so I said I would have walked around or taken it door to door like we've always done, to handle it, so at any rate, you'll have a better turnout at the
Okay.
meeting, I'm
All
sure.
right, that's good. Thank you. All right, so that, I'm glad Heather came and talked and asked the questions, because that's one of the issues I was going to address this evening in terms of where we stand and what's going on there.
Hold on, George.
Yeah.
You want to speak? Yeah.
Oh.
Dawn Jablonski, 720 Rapallo Drive. I've been working with Heather on this whole matter. However, since we've had all of these issues, the street is deteriorating very bad. The drainage ditch system is not working, it's flooded. The whole center of Durkeen has got massive holes down the center. I took pictures, I have them.
Okay.
If you'd like to see them. The street is actually getting divots on Rapallo, and the holes are just ridiculous. I've been there 36 years. We've only had the streets worked on one time, and that was when we got blacktop. So I want all of it addressed. I mean, even at the corner of Rapallo and Landmeier, the holes there are ridiculous.
Yeah, some of that is county, but in other parts of it is Elk Grove. But there are 2 or 3 streets in the middle that I'll have to go specifically take a look at. We have a program for fixing and improving all the roads, but I'm not at this moment familiar with where Durkeen and Rapallo and those sit in the plans. So
Okay.
I would have to check out the plans again with the administrator and our engineer, and then I'd have to come over and take a look specifically in what we're talking about, and make sure which roads are related to us and which are some of the other players in this.
Well, Durkeen is Elk Grove Village, Rapallo, Lee, and Vera are,
Right, and
Your
then
responsibility.
Landmeier is county is what it is, yeah.
yes. So, and the corner would be county.
Yeah, county, yeah.
Right, but it's just, since the semis are going there, and we had an incident, and my husband was almost hit by a truck that ran the stop sign when he was out there snow blowing. Had it been a nice day, it would have been one of the kids.
Right,
And because of all this truck traffic on our streets, they're deteriorating. I mean, we have sinkholes. It's horrible.
yeah, I can understand with the amount of truck traffic in there, and that's part of what the whole traffic plan is supposed to address, is the flow and the speed and the direction of the trucks. In terms of the condition of the roads, no, I'll have to take a follow-on look at that. I know that work hasn't been done on there for a while, but
Right.
I'm not aware that the problems were that significant, so.
Yes,
And I just have to verify that.
I can show you a couple pictures if you would like I took today.
I'll go over and look at it, and does better
Okay.
for me to go look, okay?
Okay. But they're basically mostly on Rapallo, except Durkeen is down the
All
center.
right. I'll go over with our field rep, for our road and bridge field rep, and go check it out, and then work with also talk to the engineer and find out what is the problem, where do we stand, what are our plans for dealing with those issues. But first, I need to look at it.
Okay.
Okay?
And it's just, like the drainage, because it was never fixed. It was promised that it was gonna be all redone by Chuck Surchuck, and it's never been done, and people's driveways are caving in. There's standing water constantly. It's just a mess.
Well, and one of the issues too with the drainage is that is actually not a township responsibility, though we tend to do it and take responsibility for it, but it is not something that we're required to do, though we have in the past done it. So we'll have to see what that situation is as well, too.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. All right, any other comments from the audience? Public comment? No? Thank you for coming, and thanks for making me aware of that. And Heather, we'll have the meeting. So hopefully it'll resolve some of the issues we've been talking about for ages. Okay? All right, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is consent agenda, authorization for payroll bills, town fund, general assistance, road, department and sewer. Then the supervisors report, social services, unemployment center, food pantry, youth services, adult and family counseling, transportation, and financials. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any questions or any discussion? You guys all, I hope you're all looking consistently at the social service, employment center, food pantry, youth services, adult and family counseling, transportation, and those sheets, because they will give you an idea of what the demand is, and what services we're providing, and how many people we're servicing, and when we're servicing, and that should give you a much better feel of kind of where we stand from a service point of view right now. I know in the past, sometimes, when I was a trustee, sometimes that would get short shrift, but I think that as we're becoming more and more focused on our services, and particularly the tax services and the social services, we need to ensure that we're really paying attention to what's happening there, okay? Okay, if there's no discussion, roll call.
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
Trustee Keenley,
Aye.
Trustee Wojcicki,
Aye.
Trustee Dante,
Aye.
Supervisor Bussie.
Aye. Okay, next is the discussion and potential action on the approval of minutes. I assume you've all read the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the March 14, 2022 regular board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second. Okay, any discussion? If not, roll call.
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
Trustee Keenley,
Aye. Trustee
Trustee Wojcicki,
Aye.
Trustee Dante,
Aye.
Supervisor Bussie.
Aye. Okay, the next is there's no presentations, so the next issue is the reports. The Assessor's report, Assessor Caraselli was not able to make it tonight. She did leave a written report. She said if there's any questions, please reach out to her, okay? All right, on the clerk's report?
I have a written report. We had 2 FOIA requests in March, and the filings of the township budgets for 2022-23. And then all the employees and elected officials have signed the whistleblower policy. All the elected officials have done the required Open Meetings Act and/or FOIA trainings, and all elected officials have submitted their statement of economic interest. So we're caught up.
Anything else?
That's it.
Any questions for the clerk?
No, sir.
Okay, Supervisors Report. Just a couple things. First, we did hold a meeting with the board of the Community Empowerment Fund. The board reviewed the revised bylaws, which primarily were put into place for a couple key reasons, and I have them in my little brief here. They were put into place for once we needed to tighten up the financial controls. 2, we wanted to make sure the township was more involved in the board and its functioning. And 3rd, we wanted to relieve some of the administrative responsibilities off the board of the fund and turn those over to the township, so that it could focus more directly on its primary mission of managing and overseeing the funds that are used as a supplement to what the township provides from a social services point of view. At the meeting, all 5 of the 6 board members were present. The new bylaws were approved, and there will be a change in how the board membership is. There will be, the supervisor is the president of the board, the administrator will be on the board, there'll be a trustee, and there will be an employee, which would be the social services director, and then there'll be 3 citizens. Probably 3 from the existing board will remain on the board, and then I will appoint the 1 trustee that we will add to that board. The board will meet, the committee will meet at least twice a year, probably maybe a little more than that, and we also will initiate not only on our new website will it receive more exposure, but we'll probably also include a fundraiser going forward to help supplement the fund. This fund will be used, like I said, to supplement the services provided by our social services, by our youth, by our adult and family counseling, and the food pantry. And I think this is a really good program. I think it really gives us the ability to provide help to residents when there's no longer programs that can help them or assist them. It gives us that little extra ability to provide assistance. So I'll reach out to the members for the CEF. Along with that, I will be setting up in the not too distant future the Social Services Review Committee. That will be a committee which will annually review all of our services in terms of efficiency, effectiveness, and need, and will also potentially recommend additional services that could be added. There will be 2 trustees on that board, and also then a number of employees, probably like our social services director and the like. We'll be announcing that board in a month or so. Another reason why that committee's being set up now is there's a bill pending in the Illinois Senate, which would require every special district and every township, not municipalities, not the county, not the state, to a year after the law is passed, and then every 10 years, to do a comprehensive review of the services that are provided, and like I said, efficiency, effectiveness, all those things, plus look at those services provided by the other governmental bodies around us. Is there duplication? Is there opportunities for cooperation? So to get ahead, we were looking at this anyway, but to get ahead of the game, we'd like to get our committee set up, begin the process on an annual basis of reviewing this, so that when these 10-year report requirements come up, we're already well ahead of the game. So there's a double purpose there. One is for our purposes, for efficiency and effectiveness, and the other one is to be prepared for what is likely to be approved as this statutory report. That statutory report, I don't know how effective.
Financial audit?
No, it looks at finance. It looks at almost everything. And I kind of get the impression is it just, it's not for the municipalities, it's not for the county, it's not for the state. So it's for those groups where they're looking at whether they need to be there or not. Mm-hmm. And it becomes I think a lot of these will be filed and no one will ever look at them, but maybe some will be looked at when there's a move to maybe consolidate or get rid of, or as justification. But as I've said all along, what we do is extraordinarily valuable, and I think that any report we submit will be very supportive for what we do and how we do it. Okay. Any questions on that?
No.
All right, then the other one is we talked about remediation. We did that during the public comment. There is a training session coming up that Vince and I are looking at going on May 26th, which addresses board meetings and how to run a board meeting and some of the hot issues, some of the new laws that have been put in place. That'll be in Rockford on May 26th if anyone wants to go. It's all day, but probably we'll just do the morning because that's when the most important sessions are. So if anybody is interested in that, let me know or let Paul know, and we will file for that, or register for that, I should say. I think that's it. Does anybody have anything else you want me to address, or any other questions?
Yeah. What's the status with the EPA?
On the EPA, we have, thank you for asking me, we have engaged, we're in the process of signing, we should have signed tomorrow or Wednesday, the contract with Pioneer Engineering, which is a major remediation company, environmental services company in Illinois. They will be taking responsibility as our primary consultant and engineer in dealing with the remediation issues going ahead. First thing they'll do is do which I have directed them to conduct, is tests for the whole property. They won't be just testing the area where we had the benzene contamination. They will look through the whole property and identify if there's any other issues beyond that area. If there's no other issues beyond that area, it's most likely then what we'll do is move into the SRP program to try to get a new NFR, because it will be very apparent that we don't need to have, as we discussed last time, impermeable barrier over our entire property. So I guess in simply put, once the test results come back, we will look at them and make a decision as to what we want to do going forward based on those results. But the most likely one would be, most likely results will be that we're clean otherwise, and most likely then we would apply for the SRP and then make a decision at that time too whether we're going to proceed while we're in the SRP process with building the bike safety and challenge course. So there's a number of things that we need to consider in stepping forward. That's what I would expect we would do, but who knows what we'll find, and depending on what we find may drive other action. So right now we've hired a consultant, engineer. We'll do the testing, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, I'm expecting positive results, and I'm expecting that we'll go into the SRP program to get a new NFR.
And this was a pre-existing issue
This-
from Elk Grove Township?
Yes, from Elk Grove Village. Yeah.
Elk Grove Village, yeah.
What, just to summarize, what happened before is when they in 2000, right around 2000, removed underground storage tanks. And when they removed those underground storage tanks, they discovered the contamination levels of benzene that were above the required levels or the standard levels. And so they were required to remediate. They got the contamination levels down to a level that the state was comfortable with and issued an NFR. When we bought the building and moved in here, there were 3 tanks that were still in the ground that they had been using since then to provide gas for their trucks and stuff like that. We went in to remove those tanks, and when we removed those tanks, the testing associated with that discovered that there were contamination levels above the standard, about the same as before, about the same as what was there that they issued an NFR for, but it was above the standards. So the fire marshal issued an incident report, and we were going to have to go back and remediate. Well, Elk Grove Village, who has an agreement in the contract to work with us and reimburse us in some ways for any environmental action that needs to be done, went on, they said, let us move forward and see if we can get the NFR just revalidated or reapproved. They were able to do that. And so the NFR was reapproved, no further remediation was needed, and we just leave it, and we assume that they just have an impermeable surface over that immediate area. Then it was discovered that in that old NFR, there were requirements for an impermeable surface over the entire property, which was ridiculous. But obviously Elk Grove Village agreed to it back then. And maybe at that point it appears maybe they did have asphalt over everything. But then shortly after, a couple of years after that, they obviously put grass in on the front. Mm-hmm. So technically right now the NFR is invalid and is not in place. So we need to work with, through Pioneer, we're working with the IEPA, and we're working with the village and trying to identify how we resolve this problem so that the impermeable surface only has to be over what would you be consider a reasonable area.
I guess one of the concerns would be, you know, is the township financially fully responsible?
That would become a question for the attorneys. We are going to pay for the testing, because I want to know what our situation is across not just that area, but across the whole property, so we can look from that point of view. At that point, then there's discussions that would go on between the township and the village in terms of where we go from there and who would be responsible for it financially.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? That's probably more than you needed to hear, but transparency. Okay, I think that's about any other questions and any other issues? No?
Nope.
Okay. If that's good, then if I can get a motion to,
New business,
no, I get a motion to approve the reports.
sorry.
I get a motion to approve the elected
Second.
officials' reports. Okay, first and seconded. Okay, any other discussion? No? Roll call?
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
trustee Keenley,
Aye.
trustee Woteki,
Aye.
trustee Dante,
Aye.
supervisor Bussie.
Aye. All right, new business. The only issue, new business, employee handbook proposal revisions. You've got that in your package. These are revisions that clarify vacation benefits for full-time and part-time personnel. We just felt that they needed to be better explained and clarified for our employees. Is there any questions on that?
Nope.
No.
Okay. If there is if I can get a motion to approve the revisions to the employee handbook?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any other discussion? No? Roll call?
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
trustee Keenley,
Aye.
trustee Woteki,
Aye.
trustee Dante,
Aye.
supervisor Bussie.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna make a motion to go into closed session. I made a motion to close for the purpose of reviewing closed session minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, I think all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're closed. The regular session is temporarily closed, and we'll go into a closed session and then come back to vote on what's been discussed. All right. All right, ready? Okay, I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Elk Grove Township back into session. Roll call?
Trustee Narodowski,
Present.
trustee Keenley,
Present.
trustee Woteki,
Present.
trustee Dante,
Present?
supervisor Bussie.
Present. Okay, the remaining issue of business for tonight is the approval of the release of the closed session minutes from basically 2016 through 2019. You've seen what all these minutes are. There's been discussion on all the minutes. Is there any further discussion at this point?
No, sir.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the release of the closed session minutes?
So moved.
Okay,
Second?
okay. Any further discussion? Anything else?
Nope.
If not, roll call.
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
trustee Keenley,
Aye.
trustee Woteki,
Aye.
trustee Dante,
Aye.
supervisor Bussie.
Aye. Okay, is there anything else that anyone wants to address or talk about at the meeting?
No, sir.
Okay, if not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned.